on the ground, but I'm not looking down. Feel the warmth of the breeze rushing over me. Now it's soaring high, reach and touch the sky. We can
Hello and welcome to the Let's Do Video podcast. My name is David Maldo, and this is the first time we are recording the podcast while streaming live on YouTube. So I'm pretty excited. The live adrenaline is a little bit different than the recording adrenaline. So I'd like to start by thanking our guest today, Wayne Driggers from AVer. Wayne, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, David. Thanks for having me. I'm Wayne Driggers. I'm Vice President of Product for AVer Information.
Great. Thanks for being here today. And the reason we have you here is because you've recently gotten some news regarding certifications and working with Microsoft. Now, before we get into the certifications itself, I got to ask you, Microsoft is such a big company. How do you start working with them? What is it like to work with them? Do you get assigned a team? I mean, it seems like just getting to the right person. I've been in this industry for years, and there's some great people there, but going through the routes of that huge company to work with them, what's it been like for you?
They've been a great partner to work with. They've set up their processes pretty well, and allowed to work with partners like us and manufacturers on the device side like us fairly easy. So once you get with the right team, they'll guide you through the process and make sure that if your products are a good fit, that they'll help you get through the process and make sure that they're going to be great for their users as well as our joint users.
Great. So it sounds like once you convince them that you're worth their time, they really kind of take care of you there. Maybe that's not the nicest way to put it, but it seems like they really have a program in place. From other companies that I've heard that work with them, it's the real deal. And let's get to the certifications themselves. Which products? You guys have a line. I've been to your website many times of different collaboration products. Which ones are we talking about here?
Yeah, so our first two products we've had the pleasure of getting certified through the Microsoft process are our Cam 540 and our Cam 520 Pro. And those are the two products that we've certified for the Microsoft medium and large room configurations on their device certification process. So the Cam 540 is, if you like, I could kind of go cover the products themselves, but the Cam 540 is our Cam 540 is our 4K PTZ camera that's actually going to give you both optical zoom as well as digital zoom. So it's going to give you a up to 16x total zoom with a 3.3 optical zoom to give you maintain that resolution, maintain that quality through the optical method. Now our Cam 520 Pro is our 1080p camera, but the 1080p camera will have a 18x total zoom as well with 12x optical. So we're combining that digital and optical zoom experience to make sure. And if you think about medium and large rooms, you need to have that good optical zoom in order to be able to reach out and get a good frame on the individual that's speaking. When you combine that on both products with our smart frame technology, you're really maintaining resolution. No matter if you're all the way zoomed out or if you're cropping in and automatically framing 2 or 3 people that may be in a larger conference space and just capturing those individuals to be relayed to the other end in a video call or video conference.
Okay, so we're talking about the larger medium to larger meeting room enterprise products. And I'm hearing a lot of interest in that because we're all discussing what's going to happen when we go back to the workplace. And what's going to happen is the 3-person room is going to be a 1-person room because we're still going to have to social distance. And these
Correct.
20-person rooms or 10-person rooms are going to be our everyday working 3 to 4-person team rooms. So these rooms are going to be in high demand. And you talked about intelligent framing. People are going to be spread out, so we can't just leave the camera sitting in one position. We need a camera that can help us out with that. So it seems like when we're talking about getting back to work, this is kind of the I can see why you focused on these first, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's going to work out really well for those that, like you said, and I'm not saying that the one thing about, like, with all of the changes we're going through, I think that we're going to see a combination of a lot of different ideas that are being floated around. For the medium and large spaces, there's been extremes. Some people are saying they're not going to be used because you don't want that many people. Some people are saying they're going to be utilized more. I still think they're going to be highly utilized. And I believe that, if you just do the math, like you said, you take a room that normally held, let's say, a huddle space. Everyone's been talking about huddle space for so long, and we've seen the growth in the huddle space. But those rooms are always for around 4 people. And they fit in a smaller, 12 by 12 environment. Well, if you do the math and you have 4 people that do need to get together, you're now in a medium room in order to
Yeah.
maintain the distance between one another. So we feel that the camera was designed and launched, prior to all of this beginning. But it's now finding a sweet spot because you are going to be able to accommodate that automatic smart framing technology that we have to be able to crop the image and make sure you see the people that may be sitting in a little bit further distance in a medium size or a large size room, in order to maintain that space as well. So it's really kind of settling into a good use case based on the distance and everything that the optical zoom is going to provide, and the good field of view will provide.
Exactly. We can't, we don't have a crystal ball, and things have been so crazy in the world lately. We really can't predict the future, but we can posit some likely scenarios. And a likely scenario is when things get a little safer, we are going to want to go back to the office to some extent. A lot of us will say, you know what, I was just as productive working at home maybe 3 days a week instead of 5, but there's something about working with people. But it's likely that, I'm not going to be a handshaker again. I'm just not. I'm going to be a social distancer for a long time. And so it just makes sense to think, well, yeah, these 10-person rooms are going to be 3-person rooms. And I don't want to go over and over, but that's the use case we're talking about, a camera that can cover that size room with people spread out. Now, you might not
and
be
the
able
ability. Oh,
I'm
one more
sorry.
thing. So in those larger spaces, you'll find you have control set up. You have Extron, Crestron. You have other control methodologies. So these cameras can also integrate with those control technologies also in their native format. Now, inside of Microsoft, you're going to have the ability to control that as well. But you're starting to see that the feature set on these 2 cameras we're kind of leading with are allowing you to gain that full utilization in those medium and large spaces, all while driving the price points down. So our Cam 540 is I believe it's $11.99 MSRP, and our Cam 520 Pro is a $9.99 MSRP. So traditionally in these environments, you're looking at $3,000-$4,000 cameras, and now we're driving that price point down, delivering the quality that's expected in that space, but also at a price point that's more in line with UC solutions that are coming to market.
Yeah, and when you think about what you're getting, it's kind of it reminds me, I was once given an analogy by someone who had an over-engineered product. It was able to do 1080p at a day when we weren't even doing 720p. And I'm like, who needs that? And he's like, but if it does 1080p, imagine how good it does what we're doing today. He said, I own a Porsche. He was very successful. He says, the Porsche can go 200. I never take it over 60, but it does 60 so sweet. So if these boardrooms that we set up for the CEO to use with our Crestron devices, and they're already in place, and we're going to start using them for our 4-person working sessions, we're going to feel really spoiled. And if the cameras are ready to go with all of those things, plug them in and let's just start going with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we really, and going back on the certification side, that's, yes, the you mentioned the Microsoft certification. You've heard it's robust, and it is, and that's for a great reason, for the exact scenario that you spoke of. In a partnership that we build with our platform partners, Microsoft, Zoom, and there's many others that we work closely with. We want to eliminate the variables for the end users as much as possible. And that's the whole goal behind this. That's why there's a process in place. We know that when I plug this device in and it's going to be included in in this case, Microsoft Teams environment, we know it's worked. It's tested. It's validated. There's not going to be a surprise for the end user. So you can walk in, go through your normal process of interacting with that touch interface in the room, or the starting mechanism of getting that meeting going, which is pretty much one touch or one click, or all the different nomenclatures out there today. But being able to just tap and start, and all of the devices in there are going to work as they should. And that's why this process is there.
Let me get into that for a minute, because I think that's a lot of people don't get. And I would love it if you could really take a few minutes and expand on it and take your time with this, because I think it's important and nobody gets this. I think people think this is a marketing gimmick. I think they think the deal is that you go to Microsoft and you say, hey, we'll give you X dollars or X marketing back and forth on our website or whatever it is, and you let us put a nice little logo on our cameras, and the logo says Microsoft. Because to be honest, everything kind of works with everything these days. I plug in a camera and it works with all the things. And so my expectation was
work. Yeah, the qualification.
My understanding is you guys, it's not that you got to go back to your developers. And you have to tell your developers, change things in the codes of our cameras to do things, because Microsoft will not give this to us unless we checklist of engineering things. So am I right? And can you expand on that?
Absolutely. So the key word that you mentioned is work. Now that is a subjective term. Can I plug a camera in via USB and have video there? Absolutely. That does work. But to what level, in what scenario, in what variables could be at play? There's a multitude of things that you have to pay attention to in all of these scenarios. And this certification process allows for that. It looks at the use cases that we know are in the market. It looks at scenarios. So what type of room am I in? Are those rooms traditionally a long table? Do I need a field of view at a certain point in order to accommodate the best user experience, or at least the assumed best user experience? And that's what the certification is. It's trying to account for as many variables as possible and bringing that into a plug and play environment. So I can plug the device into the design of the room, the design of the certified room space, and peripherals, but and everyone's going to meet the same use cases in that process, that certification process. So if I have a medium room solution and I'm working with device manufacturers such as AVer, in Microsoft's case, I want to make sure that each similar peripheral in each company will interact with this system the exact same way, and that we know it's going to meet the minimum requirements in order to function as, in this case, Microsoft has seen feasible, and their customers agree, and that they adopt that methodology and those use cases and that certified user experience. So it's all about the user. It's all about the experience, which is the one thing I'm been ecstatic to see over the years. The main focus has moved to the experience of the user, and bringing the complexity, bringing the fear down for as many users to use it. And like you said, people are going to be walking in these rooms now because video is becoming the standard, and you need to have it in order to communicate with remote workers, with people that have been remote, newly remote, distance learning, onboarding, all the different things they're using it for. But it's still going to maintain that ease of use. And the platform partners out there are really driving that mindset by building the certification programs they're building, and ensuring that when I do plug the device in, yes, without a certification, in many cases, it still works. But does it meet all the needs of the users and the user experience and the use cases?
Yeah, and I want to give Microsoft and Zoom a lot of credit here for the way they do their certification programs, because I really, well, first of all, they could have just done it as a marketing gimmick, But no, they made it a real program. But the second mistake I thought was going to be a lot of IT stuff so that it would work better with their servers on the back end. You got to use this protocol or that protocol. And I'm sure there's some of that. But what it really is about user experience. And to be honest,
Right.
who knows more about the way people like to use Zoom than Zoom? Who knows more about the way people like to use MS Teams than MS Teams? So if after millions and millions and millions of minutes of calls, Zoom or MS Teams say, when our customers press this button, we expect the cameras to do this. And if you don't make your AVer camera do this, you're not going to get certified. It really is. It's not about Microsoft. It's not about Zoom. It's about their customers. So when you see that certification, I hope people get that. Oh, this is about making it work better for me.
The best way to think about that badge that you get for being Microsoft Teams certified or Zoom certified, the best way for a user to truly think about it, and a customer, an IT decision maker, an AV installer, an end user, the best thing to think of is, I know that I don't have to figure out what the caveats are of these devices. The majority of them have been figured out ahead of time. And when I plug it in, it's going to, as you said, it's going to operate within the platform as it should. And that's the goal. Historically, you found users would find the caveats, and then you try to solve the caveats after they've been found. Little glitches here where we didn't think of this scenario, and they hit a button and it goes black, and why is it going black? And then, I got to call somebody. The goal is to eliminate all of those as much as possible so that the end users don't ever get exposed to them. And that's what you're seeing with the new certification world, which is great. And like I said, it's all focused on the end user experience, which is where it should be.
And as AVer, you don't mind if the customer is using your camera and they think of it as a Zoom camera because it's part of their Zoom experience. They think of it as a Microsoft Teams camera. You want them to you want them to know it's AVer, but you want them to just think of it as their video experience. Now,
and that's why it's a partnership, David. I mean, it's yes, we have the AVer brand, but when you go through the partnership with Microsoft, with Zoom, you're right, it becomes a part of the overall experience. And that's the beauty of the ecosystem, which we find ourselves in today. Ecosystem is driving much of the market today when it comes to UC and video.
Now, real quick from a market perspective, and maybe this is just a kind of chance to brag a little bit, but there's not a lot, and I don't think you're the only, but I don't think there's a lot of people that have both out there. People are scrambling for certifications, and all of a sudden there's a whole lot of people trying to make cameras, and I'm getting a lot of emails from new camera vendors from all over the world because the hardest things to get in the last 3 months have been toilet paper and cameras. It's crazy. You can't keep them on the shelves. So let me give you a minute. Go ahead, and how do you think if someone is looking for cameras, where does this put AVer compared to some of your competitors?
We've been very lucky to maintain a good position with our inventory and with availability of our cameras. So, and there's a long reason why, and I won't go into the full reason, but AVer's been around for quite a while. We've really we've had a strong roots in the education market for many years, and for the past 5 years, we've been watching our USB peripheral side on the video especially grow exponentially year over year. But there's where we do our manufacturing, how we source our components, the design team that works within that works on the cameras themselves to be able to deliver that good quality experience. We've just been lucky and have and I'll say luck. We've had great planning inside the organization combined with some luck to make sure that we can still provide our customers with what they need and our partners with what they need.
Great. Now, it's okay if you say no to this, but can you tease or hint that we're getting any other products certifications down the road, or not yet?
We will be continuing our, working to expand our relationship with our platform providers and Microsoft in particular as well. But there will be a lot of great things coming in the near future with AVer, and we look forward to working on the new products as well as the new certifications with our partners as those products come out. So we're really excited about the future here, and we're glad to see that the video adoption out there is really bringing is educating the market around what is good video and what has always been my at home video traditionally. So I think that, you know, the users now are building a taste for the video experience above and beyond your traditional, you know, webcam that they would go and just procure at whatever office supply store. This is going to be a you're going to start to build connoisseurs, if you will, of the video experience. And, you know, David, you and I have been working in video for so long. We know what we like. We know the setups that we prefer. But you're going to start hearing more people talk about the kind of their tech stack in whatever way you want to label it. Their video tech stack, their work from home tech stack, their remote worker, mobile worker tech stack. So you're going to start to see the video become more a part of that conversation above and beyond computer, audio, headsets, and everything else that they've normally discussed in those realms.
Oh, definitely. It's become a nerding out contest in calls with virtual backgrounds. Who has the funniest virtual background? It's all over Twitter. Everyone's having a blast with it, and it's sort of a positive thing. Is in earlier disasters, the video industry was like, "Hey, we're here to help," and what we had was good enough. And we sort of helped, but then it was, you know, go back to the way it was. And this time the video industry is like, you know, hey, you know, of course the video industry is doing well and making sales and everything. But when I talk to people off the record, there really is this feeling of, we're so glad that we are here to help this time. And when they're using our products, they're not just like, okay, this is getting us through, but we need to get back to real life. They're like, oh, we're going to stay with this. This is a nice experience. I like working on video. That's what they're saying now, that makes it different this time. And, you know, looking for a silver lining or something positive. It's nice that we can do that. So leading into the last question, anything else we need to share on this announcement with the certifications, or did we cover it all?
No, I think we've done a great job in informing everyone kind of why we went through the process, the products we have as a part of this, the Microsoft certification now. But I would like to end it with, you know, just for those of you that are you know, in this world, everybody's discovering new things. So for those that have discovered AVer for the first time as a part of the ongoing education and the new phase that we're in, please feel free to reach out to us with any questions you have. You know, you have the ability on email to go to inquire.averusa.com. You also have, or visit our Microsoft kind of subsite on averusa.com/business/Microsoft. And those two sites will actually, the email will help get in touch with us if you need anything, and the site will help inform you about what we're doing more with Microsoft.
Great. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, our first YouTube live stream, and the podcast will be up recorded on letsdovideo.com, and you could follow us on Twitter at Let's Do Video. Thanks so much, Wayne. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you, David. It was great. Take care, everybody.